Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is. Geeks are back on the scene, baby. Pay per view week. Picks and predictions. We're running through the whole card. One video. We're gonna slam it all out. Let's go. Starting from the first fight of the night. This is UFC 289 Nunez versus Aldana for the strap. Everyone's here for the co-main though. We got Charles Oliveira, Benil Dariush at the top. Let's get into it. First fight of the night. Diana Belbita versus Maria Oliveira. This is a strawweight female boot. I'm going to take Maria Oliveira just to be brief on this one. I think that she's going to have all the statistical advantages entering the octagon. She's a striker. People call her like the Anderson Silva female version. And I don't think that Belbita is going to be able to get it to the mat. So I think that she's going to be able to let it eat. So I'm taking her by decision. Dana, what do you got?
I like that pick. I'm going to ride with Maria as well. I think this will be on the feet for a majority of the fight, and I think that's where she thrives. So my bet's going to be with her, and of course, the over is not a bad one either.
Yep. And they're about even on the book right now. Front kick, what do you got?
Same play as you guys. If I had to play, it's just to take the over. But if I had to pick a winner, probably Maria Oliveira. I like her striking better.
Yep. Over's always a good splash. What do you got, Goosey?
Dude, the only thing that worries me is Belbita's been off for a while. Maybe she's made some evolutions to her game, gotten that grappling better, but I'm not going to make that assumption. I'm going to make her prove it. I'm going to pick Maria Oliveira here. I think that her striking is going to be better, a little bit more movement, just more flash on the feet. And then the grappling, Belbita probably has the advantage, but Oliveira is going to be trying to avoid it.
Fair enough. All right, moving into the next one. We got a light flyweight scrap. David Dvorak coming out against Steve Urkeg, 9-1. Looks like he's making his debut here. He's coming out of Perth. And then you got David Dvorak trying to make a bounce back here, but definitely been fighting some seriously tough competition. So I'm gonna take Dvorak just based on, the fact that this guy has kind of seen it all. So, stepping in there for your debut, you're in for a whole lot, definitely with a rejuvenated David that's looking to get back in the win column. So I'm riding the Dvorak train. Don't let me down again, brother. Let's get this one. Goosey, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Dvorak. I think that Urkeg probably not ready for this big of a jump up in competition. It's gonna be tough for him to feel comfortable in there. Dvorak, he does play a little slow, but I think he sets up a shot, gets a KO victory in this one.
Front kick, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm liking the. I would just go with Dvorak knockout or decision. I don't think Steven poses a threat on the ground. Dvorak's very well rounded. That's what I've got. Dvorak.
Let's go. He's a dog. Dana, what do you got?
Loving the Dvorak pick. I'm definitely going to ride with him in this one. I'm looking at his age, though. He's 31 years old. That's right in the middle of the prime. Like you were saying, CEO, he's been facing the who's who. So I feel like stars are kind of aligning for him with this bout. Good timing in his career. A lot of experience behind him versus a debuter. So I got to ride with Dvorak.
All right, let's go. We're moving into the next one. We got a featherweight scrap here. We got Blake Builder, 8-0-1, coming out against Kyle Nelson, 13-5-1. Kyle Nelson's a Canadian, so he's going to have that crowd going absolutely nuts for him. That's definitely something to think about. But in this matchup, man, I'm going to take Blake Builder. I just think that, he's kind of just like meat and potatoes, where it's like he just shuffles around the octagon, shoots a shot when he has to, big overhands or whatever it is, but it's effective. And he's got a really strong base when he gets you down. So he gets that control time, and he's got that quick agility on the feet where it's hard to really get a hold of him yourself, or let alone hit him. So I think Kyle Nelson's just going to be kind of swinging for the fences here, and Builder's going to be able to steal a lot of these rounds. So I'm taking Blake Builder to upset the Canadian here. Dano, what's your take?
I like it. I'm riding with Builder too. I think that Kyle Nelson is not the cream of the crop. He did get a draw in his last fight, but he was going to lose that fight until he did get headbutted. Opponent gets a point taken away. Then that's where the draw comes into play. He doesn't have the best record in the UFC, and I feel like they're going to try and build Blake Builder. No pun intended, but riding with Blake.
Fair enough. Front kick, what do you got?
I'm riding Blake Builder as well. Kyle Nelson. I mean, they both get hit a decent amount of times per minute, but Kyle Nelson's got a negative strike differential. I think Blake could put some hands on him. He's more of a grappling, finishing type of guy, but I'm riding with Blake.
What do you got, Goosey?
Going with Blake Builder, it's going to be a sweep here. I think that Shane Young was a very similar style matchup, probably a little bit less explosive than Kyle Nelson's going to be, but Blake Builder dealt with it well. I think second UFC appearance will be even a little bit more comfortable in there. So Builder decision is going to be the pick.
Fair enough. Let's go. We're moving into the next one. We're rolling here. We got a bantamweight scrap. Eamon Zahabi, 9-2-0. Canadian coming out against Archie Lang, 24-9. This one's an interesting one because Zahabi, just like, I'm not sure if it's like his brother or his cousin or whatever it is, Fares Zahabi. They're very calculated. These guys come into these fights and they definitely know what they're doing. They definitely know, the right path to victory. Archie Lang, he gets in there, he gets hit a bunch, but he does like to get into these barn brawls and he does land some hands. So this is going to be an interesting one. I think Zahabi's going to be able to mix it up just a little bit more than Archie Lang here. I'm thinking that Zahabi's a good underdog. So that's what I'm going to ride with. What do you got, Goosey?
I like Zahabi. I don't really see him knocking out Arichi Lang, but he's been fighting well, keeping his distance. He always goes in with a good game plan, as one would expect coming from the Zahabi lineage. Arichi Lang, definitely hittable, definitely a guy that if you go in there with a good plan against, you're probably going to have some success. And I think Zahabi will go in there with a solid plan, so I'm picking him by decision.
What do you got, Dano?
I'm gonna ride with that hobby too here. I'm kind of on the fence, but I think I'm gonna ride with him to just get a boring decision here. Like you were saying, CEO, they always come in with good game plans. They know what they want to do, and for the most part, they pretty much execute what they want to do. So I think Zahabi's gonna make this one boring. He's gonna do a lot of jabs, do a lot of point fighting, and will ultimately come out on top.
Front kick?
I'm just gonna ride with Ariki Lang here. I'm gonna ride with him to just out volume Zahabi. I want him by decision or knockout.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're moving into the next one. We got a female boot, a flyweight scrap. Geeks chat alumni, Jasmine Jasuda Vicious, coming out in her home country. She's gonna get a whole lot of love here. 8-2 against Miranda Maverick, 11-4. And if I'm not mistaken, Miranda Maverick is a ranked flyweight. So things could get really interesting here for Jasmine. And I think that she's gonna be able to pull it off here. So I'm taking Jasmine. I think that how this fight's going to pan out is a lot of people think that Miranda Maverick's going to have a lot of success on the wrestling side of it. I think Jasmine is very slept on in that department. I think she's going to be able to stand up Miranda. I think she's going to be able to shoot her own takedowns. I think that even when it hits the mat, she'll be very entertaining in scrambles. And at the end of the day, when this comes down to it on the feet, I think Jasmine's just got a little bit more pop on her shots. She definitely has that aggressive factor to her where she hits a lot harder than a lot of these other girls. And I think Maverick's going to be, kind of shocked when it starts to all happen. So I'm interested to see how it all goes down. I think Jasmine edges out a decision. She might even find a late finish in here. That's what I'm banking on. What do you got, Goosey?
I'm liking where your head's at. I'm gonna go Jasmine by decision here. Yeah, Miranda Maverick's good, and yeah, she's young, but you look at her record, 11-4. She's definitely got holes. The ones that tend to keep showing up is wrestling with just good output, because Miranda Maverick tries to hit you with power on the feet. She really loads up on her shots, and then on the ground, she's looking for submissions. If you can get her on her back, get her going backwards, she tends to struggle. And that's going to be Jasmine's game plan going into this one. So I see her winning by decision.
What do you got, front kick?
Yeah, I mean, if Jasmine, my play is the over. I think it's going to be a scrap. But if Jasmine can just keep it on the feet, stuff some takedowns, I think Miranda will be in Jasmine's world. So I'm rooting for Jasmine in this one. Let's go.
Let's go, Dana. What do you got?
I am riding with Miranda Maverick in this one. I just like the age difference, 9 years. And Miranda Maverick's on a roll right now. She's on a 3-fight win streak going into I think she's probably a pretty heavy favorite, but in the sense she's get this little underdog performance going into this girl's hometown. She's gonna have the home crowd against her. And I think she will pull this one off. Give me Miranda Maverick.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're moving into the next one. This one's going to be an absolute slugfest. We have got a middleweight scrap. Nasruddin Emavov, 12-4, coming out against Chris Curtis, 30-10, the action man. This one's crazy, man. Because, at the end of the day, Nasruddin Emavov, in my mind, is the better fighter. This fight, Chris Curtis wants to do the man dance. He wants to stand up. He's not really about all the other shit. So they're gonna stand and bang. Emavov is the better striker. My concern is the gas tank, because we always see these guys that are better than Chris Curtis, and they just fall. And I've seen Emavov be rocked by some shots, and it does throw up some flags. But I think Emavov's gonna be able to get through the fire and at least win me the first 2 rounds and survive. So it's a 3-round fight. We're not asking for too much. That's a concern I'll have with Emavov down the line. But for now, I think he's going to be able to edge out the vet, Chris Curtis, on the feet with some slick shit. What do you got, Front Kick?
You know what? I'm gonna ride with the pop in this fight. I'm riding with Chris Curdy, baby. And plus 130 is a pretty good price for me. I like it. And I'm gonna I like it when the dog's got the more pop in his hands. I'll ride with Chris Curtis all day on that.
Fair enough. Dana, what do you got?
Yeah, I like the underdog Chris Curtis line in this one. I think Curtis is a dog. We all know his last fight didn't go the way he wanted it to against Gastelum. He's going to want to bounce back. He's also got Sean Strickland in his corner who came in on very short notice and beat Emavov. And Strickland's just going to be chirping Curtis the whole time, giving him tips and do this and do that, because I'm sure he's going to be cornering him. And throughout the whole fight camp, he's already been laying the groundwork into Curtis's mind. So give me Chris Curtis. I think a decision is not a bad play here. But definitely like the dog price.
Yeah. What do you like, Goosey?
Twitter. I'm going Emavov. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying with the danger of Chris Curtis, but he's slow in there. And I think that if you want to hit Emavov clean, you got to be exploding. You got to be quick, like Joaquin Buckley. And he even took those shots in the 3rd round from Joaquin Buckley. I think that he will be able to keep him at range. Curtis kind of struggles with the kicks at times. I think that the front kick, and then straight punches down the middle are going to be just what the doctor ordered. Emavov getting the first 2 rounds and winning a decision here.
Let's go. All right, we're moving to the next one. We got another middleweight scrap. Eric Anders, 15-7, coming out against Marc-Andre Barriault, 15-6. This is a great scrap. I mean, you look at the records, it's like, way to line them up, fellas. Marc-Andre Barriault is a brute. He's one of those guys where he'll take any kind of damage, walk you down, just to land shots on you. So I mean, Eric Anders is good, but he's kind of diminishing to me. I mean, it's no lie that he's past his prime a little bit. So I'm just not sold on this one. I think I'm just gonna take the under. I'm just gonna take the under. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, what do you got, Dano?
This is my geek of the week. I'm riding with Eric Anders in this one. It makes me very nervous because, like you were saying, Barriault is a tank. He is a brute. He can deliver everywhere. But what I think is gonna happen is we're gonna start throwing some hands, and then we're gonna rock Barriault. Barriault's gonna shoot for a takedown or just somehow end on the ground, and Anders is gonna get on top of him and submit him. I like the Anders submission play in this one. Not that I see anything, but I just feel it. I sensed it coming. I feel like if it's going to be Anders dub, it's got to be inside the distance. I don't think he can go all 3 rounds of Barriault, because Barriault in his past couple fights has shown a good gas tank. Anders, maybe not so much. So he needs to finish this inside distance. Barriault does have a chin on him. So limiting my options, I'm thinking a sub here.
What do you got, Goosey? That's a snake play.
Burial. I'm deciding whether I think like a round 3 finish or a decision. I'm gonna edge with a decision here, but Burial, tough as they come. I think he's gonna be trying to walk forward. Eric Anders is definitely gonna get his shots off, but I'm gonna bank on him not putting Marc Andre away early. Julian Marquez, Cuban Missile Crisis couldn't do it. Barrio came storming back. I think it's gonna be something similar to that. Eric Anders is tough, but Barrio just starts pushing that pace and goes like a madman. So Marc Andre decision.
What do you got, front kick?
Same exact pick as Goosey, Marc Andre decision. I mean, I got it at a plus 175 odds, so that's nice. I like that. I don't think Eric Anders is gonna go away to sleep, so give me that burial. Outstrike him.
Hell yeah, that's gonna be a banger to open up the main card because that's where we're at already. And the second fight of the main card is the next one, another featherweight scrap. Dan Ige versus Nate Landwehr. Ige's 16-6, Landwehr 17-4. Landwehr's on this surge right now. He's riding some crazy momentum. This guy puts on performances. They don't call him Dan 50K Ige for nothing either. So this one's definitely slept on the card. I don't think people understand the recklessness that comes with this bout. And I'm pumped for it. And I think that Nate Landwehr, he strives in that kind of stuff. I mean, this is exactly what he lives for, this kind of stuff. It's really hard to imagine a world where he gets put out. And the crowd's gonna be on his side. It just goes like that. He's that kind of guy. So I think he's gonna be able to outlast Dan Ige, who's good, but Landwehr's just a dog, man. No other way to put it, man. He's gonna find a way. So I'm taking Nate Landwehr by decision. What do you got? Front kick.
I love Nate Landwehr, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
Man.
Dan Ige, bro, he's
Good.
fought the who's who, and he's been fighting higher caliber guys for a longer period of time. Give me Dan.
Yeah, all right. What do you got, Goosey?
Gonna go with Nate the Train, baby. Okay, there might be a little bias in the pick here, but I really do think that you look at Dan Ige, the guys he lost to, one, they're elite, but they also like to push the pace. They also like to get him going backwards. Dan 50K, it's no surprise he's got the pop, but it's when guys are getting pushed back, getting afraid of his pop in there. And Nate the Train really has no fear. He's gonna walk forward. If he gets caught, he gets caught. But I think he ends up wearing on Ige. Ige hits and gets hit about half as much as Landwehr. I think if Nate the Train can turn this into a brawl where Ige's got to go high output, he's going to gas quicker, and Nate banks these rounds to a decision win. Hard fought fight of the night.
Let's go, Dana. What do you got?
If I was a smart man, I would definitely put my money on Ige. But I'm a gambling man, so I'm throwing it on Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr's tough. He's not the smartest. And he'll be there all 3 rounds, and he can fight pretty damn good too. So give me Nate Landwehr, give me him. No idea because he's such a wild card, but just throw Nate Landwehr on the ticket and let's ride.
Nate the Train in the UFC.
Let's go. All right, we're moving to the next one. We got a welterweight scrap here. Mike Malott, hometown boy, Canadian 9-1-1, comes off the Contender Series. He fought after that too, but then he's fighting Adam Fugit, 9-3, another guy who's young in the game, still 9-3. I'm taking Mike Malott here. I got a lot of trust in Mike. I think that he is super sharp. He's been the striking coach at like Team Alpha Male. Now he's doing work at Niagara Top Team. I mean, this guy's been in the game a long time, and now he's kind of getting to play the part himself. So I like this guy. He's super humble. He puts in that work, and I think that Fugit, as good as Fugit is, Malott's just really dangerous. And I see Fugit winning maybe a decision if he could survive and just kind of lay on top, or but if it's on the feet, Malott's going to be putting that work in, and he's coming to finish this fight. So I'm taking Malott inside the distance. What you got, Goosey?
Dude, we're on the same page a lot tonight. The train's gonna keep rolling. I'm picking Mike Malott. I like the danger factor here. Fugit is a guy that will get hit in order to kind of push forward. And as we've seen in Mike Malott's recent fights, he's not that guy that you can just walk through his shots. He's got good takedown defense, good wrestling defense as well at Team Alpha Male. And I think it's just a matter of time before he smacks one home. Let's go Malott KO, baby.
Yeah, you remember that wicked guillotine he got on the Contender Series? That shit was
Yeah.
wicked. What do you got, front kick?
Yeah, that guillotine was the homie. But
Yeah,
we
sorry
got
about that.
we got I'm riding with Mike Malott as well. Malott. I'm riding with him. Yeah, I mean, they're both pretty dangerous on the ground. Funny thing is, Malott doesn't even really shoot. That he doesn't get takedowns, but when other people do, he submits them. But yeah, so I'm riding with Mike.
Let's go. Brother is like a pro hockey player or something. What do you got, Dano?
Give me Mike as well. I think this is almost as much of a lock on the card as you can get. He was on Ariel Helwani's show yesterday or today, whenever that happened, and he was just absolutely locked in. This is kind of one of those fights where he was like, I've been dreaming about this my whole life. This is my time. So I think this is definitely a lock. Pick it how you want to, but I think his name's got to be on the ticket, got to be on the sheet. Give me Mike Malott.
Let's go. All right, we're moving into the co-main, aka the people's main event. Charles Oliveira, 33-9, looking to bounce back after that Islam fight against Beneil Dariush, 22-4-1, coming off that Gamrot win. People are saying he should get a title shot no matter what if he wins this fight. I was on Beneil all week, all month. I've been on him since the fight was announced. And, this week I had to go back and take my time, go through all the tape. And I'm taking Charles, man. I'm taking Charles. I think that the danger factor is here. I think that the dog factor is here. And I know everyone wants to point to the fact that Charles always gets hurt in fights, but Beneil ain't the same guy that's hurting him. I mean, you got to look at these guys that are hurting him. Michael Chandler's one of the most explosive guys that there is. Gaethje, like, these guys are crazy. Beneil still needs to earn that. He hasn't done it on the big stage yet, so I'm not going to buy into it. I mean, I think that it's kind of crazy Charles is the underdog here because watching the Gamrot Dariush fight, it's like there's so many times where Dariush is scrambling with Gamrot, and it's like, no offense to Gamrot, great guy, great wrestler, but dude, this guy is not a submission threat. Like Charles, you can't be doing all these scrambles with a guy like Charles. He's gonna wrap you up. He's gonna wrap you up in some kind of way. And that's just a really bad spot to be. So I think that Charles Oliveira can wear it out on the feet enough to land a shot or just kind of scramble into something. I think that there's no way Beneil can keep this on the feet for the full duration. So I'm taking Charles, and I think he gets a sub. I think he gets it early. Charles round 1 sub. What do you got, front kick?
Yeah, this is my fight of the week, Charles Oliveira. But I mean, this fight's about to be crazy. Two crazy good grapplers that have kind of just developed the hands, and I think it's just gonna be a stand-up brawl. But I'm riding with Charles. Dude, the line right now for Charles, Charles knockout is plus 550. So it's pretty juicy. Any of those are pretty juicy. Plus 550 for knockout, plus 300 for sub, plus 600 for decision. So, I mean, any which one I pick is going to be nice and juicy. Give me Charles, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. What you got, Dano?
I love a Charles underdog, but I just don't see him getting Benny to the ground. I don't think Charles has the best takedown offense. I feel like Benny's got at least good enough takedown defense to stop him or really just negate him to where it's not significant. If they do get to the ground, like you were saying, Zio, it will worry me with the snatching of Oliveira getting some subs, but we saw what Makhachev did to him just in the wrestling department. Maybe not the BJJ, even though Dariush does have really good jiu-jitsu. we know that he'll be a better wrestler than Oliveira for sure. So he can maybe survive on the ground, just get it back up to the feet, Dariush, because I feel like his boxing will be a little bit better. And Oliveira's maybe not kickboxing because I am afraid of that choke box style of the, front knee coming up and just keeping him at range with some front kicks and teep kicks and stuff like that. But I do feel like this is Dariush's time, kind of like the Bilal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Of course, Gilbert Burns got injured in that fight, but I just feel like that was Bilal's time. He was going to win that fight. I just feel like this is Dariush's time. This is destined for him. Big opportunity. Co-main of a pay-per-view. He's going to get it done.
All right, Goosey, what do you got?
2-2, baby. I'm going with Benny Dariush. I'm gonna keep it short here. Obviously both guys dangerous. I think Benny hits the club and sub, a left overhand, and snatches a submission up. Oliveira likes to go to the ground, go to his back when he gets rocked on the feet. And Benny Dariush, I would argue, is just as good at jiu-jitsu as Charles. If anything, you give him a top position while you're hurt, I think it's gonna be a night. Dariush round 1 or 2 sub.
All right, bet. We're moving into the main event. Let's go. It is Amanda Nunez versus Irene Aldana. This is kind of crazy, huh? Big deal. This is a huge main event here. On Tapology, only 22% of people are picking Irene Aldana. And I'm gonna pick Irene Aldana. I think she's pretty damn good. And Amanda Nunez, yeah, she's great. But this is gonna be a close ass fight. This is gonna be a close ass fight in my eyes. So I'm gonna take the underdog, the girl who's probably a lot more hungry. And yeah, that's about the end of that. That's gonna be my pick. What do you got, Dano?
Unfortunate that this main event was kind of last second. I would have loved to see Amanda Nunez beat the shit out of Juliana Pena. I think that definitely would have happened. New opponent comes in. I don't know how this will go. My take is I feel like Amanda's going to retain that belt. We don't know how it'll go if it goes to decisions. We know what the UFC, a little controversy week in and week out. Maybe they want some new blood in that division, but I think Amanda's reign is not over yet.
What do you got, front kid?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ride with the lioness. But yeah, shit. Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's tough because you've seen her go up and lose to a girl who's a plus 900 dog, and it's just you lose the faith a little bit. I don't know if she's hungry, she's raising a kid, yada yada. But if it's the old Nunez, I got faith in her.
Goosey, wrap it up.
All right. What is actually going to happen in the fight and what I'm picking is different. I'll explain what's going to happen in the fight. Amanda Nunez is going to win a robbery decision. My pick, I think Aldana is going to win the fight here. I think that she does enough to get 3 or 4 rounds, and the judges will score it for Amanda Nunez because they're close enough. But stylistically, I mean, you look at it, Aldana's going to get the better shots off on the feet, probably some more shots as well. And it's going to be on Nunez to get the takedowns. She doesn't have her A-game cardio. Her wrestling isn't as good as it once was. Aldana's going to win the fight. Nunez is going to win the decision. That's my take.
All right, fair enough. Those are the picks and predictions. Let's go. We're split down the middle right there. Stay tuned to the Geek Sheet for the official picks. Geeks were smothering hot last week. Hit a plus 571, hit the main lay, hit a couple props. I think we went like 10-3 overall, 9-4, something like that.
Wrap them up.
We're back. We're back on track. So stay with us. We're riders. Let's get it. Hit for the next video. Let's go.